But let's talk about Turbo Miller one last time here, what he did there in Buffalo. Listen, that's the big thing people are talking about for this game now is Turbo Miller here. And him and Bo, minus Dart and Carter, are probably the biggest two stars to coming out of this whole game here. And, now the big talk is, has he forced his way onto the roster? Now, again, to recap what he did, 10 carries, 22 yards, 7 catches on 7 targets, by the way, 80 yards. And a very impressive 80 yards, too, as well, because a lot of that was yak. It wasn't like he was doing wheel routes and get the ball 15 yards down the field. A lot of it was yak yards.
Mm-hmm.
I want to remind people this. And listen, anybody who watches this show knows how much Rob and I absolutely love watching Turbo play and doing well on Saturday, because we've been big fans of Turbo from get-go. If you don't know the backstory on this kid, I'm talking way before college, by the way, guys. Look at the story. Amazing. From drug issues in the home to being raised by his grandmother, who then passed away, his cousin fighting for years to gain custody of him and stuff like that. Absolute tremendous story this kid's upbringing was at this point. And like I said, we always like to root for everybody who's a Giant because we're Giant fans, but the story overall in this kid's life and everything lead up to is great and what he's had to overcome in life. But listen, guys, I can love a player and I can still be a realistic person. Because you know what? If you had told me after week 1 of the preseason last year who could be the unsung hero of the Giants, a lot of y'all, and I wouldn't have said it, but a lot of y'all might have said Eric Gray, who destroyed the Detroit Lions in the first week of preseason last year. So you know what, guys? Maybe we don't get too excited about one game in a preseason. Because how's Eric Gray doing?
Maybe
that's whose spot he would take, guys.
I'm looking at Turbo Miller. Just like you said, 7 targets, 80 yards. His rushing is not something that you want to use. Maybe as a change of pace every now and then. Is he on the roster? In my eyes, he's pushing his way to get on the roster. But to put him on the roster, who are you taking off? That's
what I'm saying. I think he would take Eric Gray's spot. I've heard people going so crazy, they're really suggesting that he's gone past Motor. That's disrespectful to everything Motor has done in his career. That's insanity. He had one, let me be very clear, one good pass catching preseason game. Not even running. He was horrible at running. 10 rushes, 22 yards. But you want to go ahead and replace Motor, a guy who has consistently been a 1,000-yard guy. And I don't mean rushing-wise. I mean combined. He hasn't really been a consistent 1,000-yard rusher, but he's been a consistent 1,000-yard season guy for 5-6 years in this league. Now, again, he got unseated by Tyrone Tracy last year. Probably had his worst numbers of his entire career. I'd have to look it up. I don't have that in front of me, but it probably was. He is probably still the second running back, guys. We got to stop getting so excited over this young kid so we just forget what else is on this roster. Motor is your running back 2 right now. Cam Skattebo has a chance to overtake him during this season. But between being hurt and the fact that he's a rookie that's going to need a little time to learn in the NFL, especially when it comes to, pass protection. That's always the thing that rookie running backs have trouble with is pass protection. I don't know why. It's just that thing that they have trouble transitioning from college. He's probably not going to overtake him in the beginning of the season at the very least. And to sit there and just assume he's going to in the middle of the end of the season is a little crazy either, because it's a little disrespectful on Motor and what he's done in his NFL career. But for people to legitimately say Turbo Miller is going to be the number 3 running back, not Motor, because that's what I've heard people say today like crazy. It's crazy.
I'm looking at Turbo more, number 1, as a returner. And then a situational running back out of the backfield if he makes the roster. I think he has a very good chance to make the roster. I'm going to be honest with you from what we saw, because the one thing that most of our backs, I'd like to see him and Tracy in a foot race, but his speed is just something that what he does to the defense, it really puts you on your back pedal, and sometimes turning and opening your hips way too fast, and you get scared. So that's where I'm looking at. He can make a name for himself, but as a steady running back, like you said, 10 carries for 22 yards is 2.2 yards. No. I just can't see him right now, this early part of his career. So the first thing I want to see him do is just get on the roster. So to your question, he's pushing to get on the roster right now. So, but the question is, if he does, who's he taking off? If you say Eric Gray, okay.
Yes. Gray should have been gone last year, point blank.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Call it like it is. What I want to see is, like you said, the special teams. I want to see him more as a returner. I think he's got a lot of potential there just based on what he does as far as the speed and the elusiveness he has. And him in the open field is goddamn dangerous. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm going to give this as a player comp for him. Let me be very clear when I'm about to say the Timo version of it. If you all know what I mean, if you all go with Timo, like, it's not going to be the same type of player, but to a lesser degree, he's going to be a Darren Sproles kind of player. He's going to be a guy that you can receive out of the backfield, will occasionally run the ball, but it won't be his forte, will be a special teamer that does returns. And that's what I'm hoping at the very most of him as a ceiling.
That's a good one. That's a very good one. So I can see that.
That's the kind of player he is. But here's the other problem people got to realize as well, is he's not young. Like, he's not a 21-year-old kid that's trying to learn in the league. He's 26, guys.
I didn't know he was that old.
Yeah, so he played fine. His whole issue in South Carolina was he ran out of availability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He had gone through his years in Ivy League, and then they thought he can get another year, at South Carolina, but at the 1 year there. So, I mean, there's all kinds of issues there. Again, that's a whole crazy cluster of college rules we won't get into right now. But, he had that 1 year off entirely. We just didn't play football, and then now this is his second year in the NFL. He's 26, guys.
Right.
So, what do we always say about running backs? 30 is the end for a lot of these guys. So you figure he's only got a couple of years. So he's going to have to, as much as you want time to teach his kid to learn the game, because he, again, played at a smaller school, obviously, for the most part, didn't really do much in South Carolina. So for the most part, really, like I said, played at a smaller school. What is called Columbia University, exactly a football hotbed per se. But he played at a smaller school and he did very well there, but he's going to have to learn to kind of excel at a much higher level very quickly. And he got that 1 year in the practice squad. If he can continue doing what he did, then yes, he'll take Eric Gray's spot. But again, to consider that as a foregone conclusion after one preseason game, guys, is a little crazy. It's like people that are insinuating Abdul Carter is going to have 100% pressure rate for the entire season because he did it 3 times on Saturday too. It's one game, guys. Let's not get too carried away.
Thanks for watching. Like the show? Of course you do, or you would have turned it off by now and not be hearing me. There are plenty of ways to support the show. YouTube is the best place to join us, and we offer memberships there with fun benefits like custom emojis and early access to video clips. Of course, there you can also send super chats and stickers to send one-time support payments. The best way to support the show is to buy these drunk idiots beers at buymeacoffee.com/2giantgoofballs. Along with one-time support payments, there are also monthly plans, so you can continue to help kill their livers each month. You can also show people that you are a goofball by visiting our store at 2giantgoofballs-shop.fourthwall.com. We got everything from shirts, hats, phone cases, funny candles, buttons, stickers, and even a 2 Giant Goofballs towel to dry off your goofballs. Of course, you can always support the show for free by simply hitting the like, subscribe, and share button wherever you are watching or listening to this. Hit the thumbs up on YouTube. Leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. It helps the show tremendously, and quite frankly, the goofballs suck at marketing and need your help to get the word out. Thank you for being part of the Goofball Army and for taking the time out to support the show.
If you like that clip,
then you will love the full episodes too.
Find us on your favorite podcast app and look for us on all your favorite social media platforms.
Thanks so much.
Please, I'm begging you. Please subscribe.